Hey guys, welcome back to the Piston Show. So it's been a couple of months of teasing by the Stelantis group, and now the Peugeot 408 has finally been unveiled for the Malaysian market. There are three different variants, each has its own unique appeal. As usual, we have the entry-level variant, the mid variant, and this, the top-of-the-line variant. So in this video, I want to take you for a walk around the car, check out the interiors, and tell you what differentiates these three models, and tell you what I think about them, and maybe explore whether they are a good buy for the moment or not. But before that, a quick word from our sponsor. Hey guys, what are some of the things that you consider when choosing a petrol brand? For me, I make sure that the petrol can keep my engine clean and also give me better mileage. I'm sure everybody thinks about this when choosing a particular brand. With BH Petrol's Infinity RON 95 Euro 4M, you get precisely that. It has special German additives that reduces the amount of deposits that build up in your engine over the long term, keeping it clean. It also has improved friction modifiers that reduces the amount of friction that your engine has to go through, ultimately giving you better mileage and making BH Petrol's Infinity RON 95 Euro 4M the right choice. So the GT variant, which is the top of the line variant, retails for 196,055 ringgit. Now, the distinguishing factors between all the variants are, of course, a little bit of the interior specs, but largely around the exterior. For example, the GT variant has this body-colored grille over here, which, to my eyes, looks really good. And then in typical Peugeot fashion, you have these near vertical daytime running lights, which is supposed to resemble a lion's claw. Now we've seen that for a while already, but one thing that we haven't seen for a while either is the 408 model insignia placed on the bonnet. Now we usually see the logos at the front over here, not the model branding. Now if you come to the side, you get 20-inch wheels for the GT variant, and then one of the things that I think really distinguishes the 408 from the rest of the C-segment competitors is the fastback design. Now the fastback design is something that makes the car look somewhat like a coupe and like a cross between an SUV as well as a sedan. But to my eyes, I think it looks really good. However, a fastback design, the sloping roofline, usually results in lesser headroom. I'm going to find out whether that's true for the 408 GT. Anyway, that's the boss of Stelantis, who can't complain anyway, right? He can do whatever he wants. So, at the back over here, I think this protruding plastic bumper would probably look better in body color, but anyway, it's always very subjective as far as design is concerned. Now at the back here, besides that obnoxious rear bumper, I think this is probably the best part about the car. It looks really good. And since we are at the back here, now the top of the line GT variant also gets a powered tailgate. Now this you don't get in any other model. So obviously a very generous boot space over here, and the same for the side over here. One thing that there's no denying the fact that it is a good looking car. There's no doubt about it, and at the place as a C-segment competitor, it'll go up against the likes of the Honda Civic. But at 196,055 ringgit for the top of the line variant, it's actually quite pricey. Peugeot Malaysia / Stelantis actually says that the 408 GT does not have any competitors. And I'm inclined to actually believe them, because based on this design, I don't think there's anything else quite like it. Now let's go take a look at the other variants, walk around the outside, show you what the differences are, and then we're going to jump inside and talk a little bit about the interior. Let's do this. So this is the entry-level variant, the 408 Allure. And one of the biggest differences that distinguishes this from the top of the line model is the grille. the GT, as I've mentioned earlier, has a body colored grille, whereas this has all this chrome colored stars looking thing. And obviously it's still a good looking car, but it does not have that, that presence of the GT. This is priced at 146,055 ringgit, and the differences between this and the top of the line model is quite obvious, such as the fact that it runs on 18-inch wheels, which have this quite a lot of rubber in between the road and the wheel, which would mean that it probably would ride better, but it obviously does not look as good. Now, if you come to the back, this is a good time for me to actually show you what the lights look like, because it's kind of dark over here, and if you can see, the lights actually look really good. And if you remember what I said earlier, this does not come with a powered tailgate. This is manual, which for 146,055 ringgit, I'll leave it to you to make of that what you will. There's one thing that all three models share, and that is a 1.6 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine making 218 horsepower and 300 Newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels via an 8-speed gearbox. Now, I know what you might be thinking, that for a near 200,000 ringgit car, you probably would want more power, but I think this powertrain is designed for efficiency rather than all-out sheer power. Now, I haven't yet to drive this car, so I'm going to reserve my judgment, but considering how engines have been downsizing yet creating impressive power, yeah, as I said, I think that this might just be an interesting powertrain. And this, my friends, is the mid-segment variant called the 408 Premium, and it is priced at 166,055 ringgit. If you're wondering why it somewhat looks familiar, that is because the entry-level Allure model and the Premium model actually somewhat look the same. In fact, I would say they look identical because there's almost nothing that distinguishes the two. So the GT variant gets matrix LED headlamps, which means it'll automatically illuminate blind spots on the road, so that you always see what's ahead of you in low light conditions, whereas this is just your usual LED headlights. Now from the side, it's same old as well. The real magic between that distinguishes the three variants lays inside the car. So let's dive in and see how cool it is from the inside. From the inside, the 408 GT is a very nice place to be. In fact, all three variants share somewhat of the same interior. There are just some minor details that differentiate all three variants, such as the fact that the GT has this very nice panoramic roof, and then besides that you get contrasting stitching. You get this lemon green kind of contrasting stitching that contrasts with the black background. I like it. You get nicer seats, so the driver's side seats get something called AGR seats, so they're more supportive, they're more comfortable, and it's just a nicer place to be in, to sit. The seats are just nicer to sit on. It's brilliant, actually. It's something that you should try to experience yourself. You also get a nicer sound system in here, but that comes at a bit of a price because there is a subwoofer that is placed where a spare tire is usually placed. So you don't get a spare tire, you get a tire repair kit, but if you're an audiophile, then that's a worthy sacrifice. Besides that, you also get memory function seats, which, depending on which side of the fence you lean on, for me, it makes the interior feel a lot more premium. Now, as far as fit and finish is concerned, you get this suede-like touches at the door panels over here, and then over here around the dash as well, where else in the other variants you get a fabric finishing. This, as I said, feels more GT. Now, the other thing that I really have to mention is the steering wheel. Now, Peugeot has trudged on with this hexagonal steering wheel over here. Now, this actually looks really good. It feels very nice, but again, it comes at a price, which is something that is a carry-over I wouldn't want to say issue, but it's something that has been carried over from Peugeots of past, because you see this flat top at the top over here just somewhat sits at my line of sight. Now this is a very comfortable sitting position for me, but the steering wheel is a bit too low. Now if I adjust it, this is usually how I would like my steering wheel to be, but it's just on my line of sight. If I make the seat higher, I'm just sitting too tall. So this, for me personally, has always been something I never really quite liked. Anyway, the rest of the interior feels very nice. I really like this gear knob. This is basically just a switch. It's not much of a knob. This is your drive mode selector. Of course, you get this digital entertainment screen, touchscreen of course, has with the meter panel, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, standard, comes with the works. Generally, I really also like the fact that Peugeot has continued on with buttons. While a lot of car makers have ditched buttons and have put a lot of the controls in that irritating infotainment screen over there, which makes it just impossible to, sometimes you want to even summon up a drive mode. It's a two-step process. You want to change the air conditioning settings, it's a two-step process. Now you have a good old button, which I'm really thankful for, and I really like the fact that you also get shifter pedals. Brilliant, very GT. Now let's go see the back seats. So the seats are comfortable, no doubt. You get fairly good thigh support, and the one thing that fastback designs usually sacrifice on in favor of design is headroom. So if you notice, one of the newer fastback's design is of course the Toyota Vios, but the Vios has silly amounts of headroom. It's just a palm's worth of headroom. So not here, even though it's a fastback design, but the generous amount of headroom. So if you're slightly taller than 6'2", you might find that your head is right up against the roof. But if you're around my height, 5'11", 6 feet, this is actually quite a nice place to be in. Leg space is also generous. Brilliant. You also get your USB ports, air conditioning vents. What else? I don't have any complaints about the back seats. So generally the 408 GT as well as the other variants are obviously very nice cars. In fact, Peugeot has been making some very nice cars over the years. Well, I've been watching some social media comments as well as videos questioning the Peugeot brand in Malaysia. There are a lot of you that are still skeptical about Peugeot in Malaysia. I think I would give them a chance. The one major difference over here is that previously we had brand custodians with NASA as well as Burma's, but now Stelantis is officially in Malaysia. They're not custodians, they are brand owners, guys. So one of the plans that they have is obviously, besides the fact that they already have a CKD program in Malaysia, but they're also going to be having a spare part distribution center that is based in Malaysia, that is going to be servicing the entire region. This is of course going to take time to set up and to get the wheels turning on that, but that is what Stelantis has in store for all of their brands that are going to be based here in Malaysia as well. Now, to help us understand the brand, to understand what it has in store, and to give you further peace of mind, we have Jamie Morais, the Managing Director of Stelantis Malaysia, who actually graciously agreed to speak to us to answer some of our questions as far as the Peugeot brand and after-sales service is concerned. Let's go speak to Jamie. So to help me answer the question about ownership, we have here with us Jamie, who's the Managing Director of the Stelantis Group Malaysia. So Jamie, thank you for being here with us.
Most welcome. Thank you for being here as well.
Thank you so much for inviting us. So what do you have to say to everybody who, is looking forward to, owning a 408 or GT or any other variant?
Right. So what I can say is with this car, we want to produce and provide the best customer experience for the customers. And with that, because we are entering a new chapter, right? right, with the whole NSC, the National Sales Company that Stelantis is now taking care of in Malaysia since March. We have done a lot of things to look at how to improve the whole customer experience. One of them is the first thing we did on the 1st of March, we established our own call center. So we have a 24/7 call center that not only answers queries, but also in case the customer has a breakdown, customer has a battery flat, a tire flat, anything they need, anything whatsoever, they can call our call center and we'll take care of them for them. And then of course, somewhere in this year, we're also establishing our new parts warehouse in the region. It will be based here in Malaysia, and this regional parts warehouse is going to actually provide spare parts for all our customers. And on top of that, this little baby here comes with a 3 years plus a 4 years extended warranty program. So customers can actually go for the 7 years, and if they go for the 7 years, you have peace of mind for 7 years. So I think this definitely shows what we're trying to do, our commitment. Obviously, we are very new in the country, having taken over in 2 months old, but we want to make sure we start on the right footing.
Absolutely. So there you have it, guys. You heard it from the man himself, Jamie, the Managing Director of Stelantis Group Malaysia. Thank you so much, Jamie.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me again.
Bye-bye.
So there you have it, guys. You heard it from Jamie himself, the man behind Stelantis Malaysia, who's talking about the ownership proposition of Peugeot models in Malaysia. In fact, Jamie has said that if you have any questions whatsoever, then leave it in the comment section below and I'll forward it to Jamie to have him answer it for you. I'll compile everything, and if I have enough questions, I'll probably take him out for a drive in one of his cars and get him to answer all of your questions bit by bit. You don't always get MDs doing stuff like that. So thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Stelantis Malaysia, for offering such a thing. And I look forward to all of your questions regarding the Peugeot brand, the models, and the future of Peugeot here in Malaysia. As usual, thank you for watching. Do consider subscribing.